Have you ever had that kind of day? The one where your boss was on your case before you even had your first coffee. You sat in gridlock traffic for an hour, and you spilled that coffee all over your shirt. You come home, key in the lock, feeling completely drained, stressed, and just invisible, exhausted. And then this little creature sees you, and it's like a switch flips. In their eyes, you're not the person who messed up a spreadsheet. You're their entire world. Suddenly, the stress of the day doesn't seem to matter. Everything just melts away. That's not magic, it's psychology. And it's one of the most powerful and fascinating relationships we have. We have over 800 million cats and dogs as pets worldwide. That's more than the entire population of Europe. And that's not even counting the birds, fish, and hamsters. But why? From a purely logical standpoint, it's a bit strange, isn't it? We dedicate so much of our time, our money. The average dog owner spends over $1,500 a year, and this huge amount of emotional energy to these animals that can't talk back to us and will never fully understand our complicated lives. It's not just because they're cute. The truth is, our relationship with pets is one of the most powerful psychological bonds we can form. They are, quite literally, hacking our brains for the better. Today, we're breaking down the science of how your pet is an essential part of your mental well-being. The first and most immediate effect is chemical. It's a powerful cocktail of feel-good neurochemicals that your pet triggers just by existing. It starts the moment you walk in the door. When you pet a dog or cat, or even just make eye contact with them, your brain gets to work. First, your levels of cortisol, the primary stress hormone, go down. This is the fight or flight hormone. It's what makes your heart pound before a big presentation. In our modern world, we live in a state of chronic cortisol activation, and it's exhausting. Studies have shown that just a few minutes of petting can physically reduce that anxiety. It's why many universities now bring therapy dogs onto campus during final exams. Second, your brain gets a flood of oxytocin. This is the love hormone or bonding drug. It's the same hormone that's released when a mother bonds with her newborn baby or when you hug a loved one. It's the neurochemical foundation of trust, empathy, and connection. In fact, studies on dogs have found something called a mutual oxytocin gaze loop. When your dog stares into your eyes, your oxytocin levels go up. And in response, their oxytocin levels go up. You're caught in a literal feedback loop of love. But that's not all. Two other key players get involved: serotonin and dopamine. Serotonin is the great mood stabilizer, helping you feel calmer, happier, and less anxious. The simple rhythmic repetitive motion, your pet's fur, is a calming act in itself, and it helps boost those serotonin levels. And then there's dopamine. This is the reward chemical. Dopamine isn't just about pleasure, it's about anticipation. When you hear the jingle of the leash and your dog gets excited, your brain associates that with the pleasure of the upcoming walk. When your cat chooses your lap to sleep in over anyone else's, that's a hit of dopamine. It makes you feel special and chosen. So, that feeling of calm, love, and contentment you get, that's a literal 4-part chemical cocktail. Your pet is a furry, 4-legged anti-anxiety machine that adores you. But it goes deeper than just chemicals. Let's talk about loneliness. We are living in an epidemic of loneliness. We're more digitally connected than ever, with hundreds of friends online. But many of us feel profoundly isolated. Here's the thing. A pet provides constant, simple, and unconditional companionship. Think about our human relationships. They're wonderful, but they are almost always conditional. Your boss needs you to perform. Your friends expect you to be supportive, witty, and fun. Even your family has expectations. We are always, on some level, being judged. You might say the wrong thing at a dinner party and feel embarrassed for days. Now, think about your pet. Your pet doesn't care if you got fired. They don't judge you for wearing the same sweatpants 3 days in a row. They don't get angry if you're awkward at a party. They don't care what you look like, how much money you make, or what mistakes you've made. You are, in their eyes, perfect. This is what the famous psychologist Carl Rogers called unconditional positive regard. It's the feeling of being completely accepted and loved, exactly as you are, flaws and all. To get that from a person is the goal of a lifetime. To get it from a pet is a daily guarantee. And it's not just emotional, it's physical. The simple act of touch is a fundamental human need. Psychologists call it contact comfort. A purring cat on your chest, the warmth of a dog leaning against your legs, this non-demanding, non-complex source of comfort can lower your blood pressure and heart rate. Their love is simple, and in a complicated world, that is priceless. Okay, so they reduce stress and they're great company. But there's a third, more practical piece: responsibility, routine, and purpose. This is especially true for people struggling with depression or a lack of motivation. Depression can feel like a gray, formless void. It's a sense of worthlessness and an inability to even get out of bed, where one day just blurs into the next. You can't just stay in bed all day when there's a dog that needs to be walked or a cat that needs to be fed. This little life depends on you. That sense of responsibility gives you a purpose. Even more, it creates a routine. And routine is a cornerstone of mental health. It's a psychological anchor that structures your day. You have to get up at 8 a.m. for a walk. You have to provide food at 5 p.m. This is a classic therapeutic technique called behavioral activation. You can't wait until you feel better to do things. You have to do things to feel better. A pet forces you to do the things, and this builds a powerful feedback loop of self-efficacy. You see a direct, tangible result of your actions. I put food down. The cat eats and purrs. I am effective. I made a positive change. That's a powerful antidote to feelings of worthlessness. There's one more piece to this. Pets force us to be present. You can't ruminate on yesterday's mistakes or worry about tomorrow's meeting when you're trying to get a ball back from a very determined golden retriever. They are masters of mindfulness, and they drag us right into the now with them. Finally, there are two last pieces to this puzzle that connect us back to the world. First, pets make us more social with other humans. How many conversations have started at a dog park or with a stranger asking, "Can I pet your dog?" Pets are what we call social lubricants. They're a natural, easy icebreaker. In a world where everyone is staring at their phones, a pet is an open invitation for connection. You start talking to neighbors you'd otherwise just nod at. You share funny photos with coworkers, and it becomes a shared bonding ritual. They give us an instant, shared interest with other people. But the real reason this all works so well, the deep underlying reason this bond is so profound, it's because we are biologically wired for it. In fact, the bond is so deep that dogs' brains literally evolved to understand human gestures and emotional cues, like pointing or the direction of our gaze, in a way that even our closest primate relatives, chimpanzees, can't. This bond isn't one-sided. It's a two-way evolutionary street. That feeling you have for your pet isn't new. It's one of the oldest, most human instincts we have. So, when you look at your pet, you're not just looking at a cute animal. You're looking at your own personal four-legged pharmacist, dosing you with oxytocin and serotonin. You're looking at a constant, unconditional cure for our modern isolation. A living reminder that you are loved exactly as you are. You're looking at a walking, purring sense of purpose, a mindfulness coach that drags you into the present moment, and a daily reminder that you are needed and you are capable. And you're looking at a living link to our own evolutionary past, a connection to the wild and to the very best parts of our own human nature. Our relationship with them isn't silly, and it isn't trivial. It's a fundamental part of our psychology and a powerful tool for our well-being.